Hi there, La Jolla UMC family. I've been thinking recently about our vibrant partnership with our friends over at Pacific Beach United Methodist Church. We'll be living out some of those ways during our Lenten season as we have become accustomed. But also, every month we join with our friends at Pacific Beach for an incredible ministry that serves people experiencing homelessness. I don't know if you know this about my time while I was there as a weekly part of that important ministry. I don't know if you know that neighbors would complain. They would call the police or call the health department or call the press. There were instances of people leaving things in the churchyard and their own yard that were never there before, but they would leave them there and then call the police or then call the health department or then call the press. It was a very difficult circumstance. And I really wrestled with what to do in those circumstances. I really wrestled with how to treat these neighbors who we are called to love, and yet I felt as though they were being inauthentic and doing harm. Indeed, providing meals, providing services to help people escape homelessness, these are parts of our Christian call. And yet some neighbors were so angry with this ministry that they resorted to harmful tactics. I remember that our call is to love our enemies, and while I'm not sure I would call those persons enemies, indeed, they are people who want to feel safe in their neighborhoods. I had to struggle with how to continue to hear those voices even when they were angry. I had to struggle with how to continue to be in a neighborhood when there were some who were so grateful for our presence and others who thought that we should just leave. I held those things in tension for many years, my friends. I held those things in my heart. I held those things on my shoulders for a time. And yet I was unwavering in my commitment to feed the hungry, to give drink to the thirsty, to help people who were in need to escape their circumstances. And we were successful in so many ways. And I suppose perhaps with those successes, I suppose it was worth it. Does there remain much work to do? Oh my goodness, dear friends, yes. There is so much work to do. And as I look at the world and as I consider our upcoming text this Sunday about turning the other cheek, about loving our neighbors, I realize that many of us hold these kinds of things in tension. How do we live out our call? How do we respond to those who critique and say difficult things or even do things that are untenable? I join you, my friends. If you hold those things in tension sometimes, I do too. I join you in that. And yet I'm also convinced that as a Christian community, as a family of faith, that we might support and care for one another as we continue to answer the call of Christ, to serve the widow and the orphan, to bring release to the captive, recovery of sight to the blind, food for those who are hungry, drink for those who are thirsty. What an essential call, especially for such a time as this. Grace and peace to you, my friends.